Joining us via Skype from Pittsburgh is Newsmax insider Salina Zito. Also joining us via Skype from Dallas, the newly appointed National Youth Vote spokesperson for the Trump campaign, Salvator Mastra. And Salvator, let me begin with you, and please, Salina, no offense on not going with the ladies first here, but I just got an obvious question for Salvator. It is this: we hear that millennials are not popular, or Hillary is not popular with millennials. Is there enough concern among voters of your generation to tip the scales over to Donald Trump by Election Day?
I think so. I think in the last week we've seen a massive trend of Hillary Clinton losing double digits with the youth vote, and Donald Trump right behind her, 8 points behind her, where he was losing in some polls up to 30 points behind her. And we're looking at swing states like Pennsylvania and Michigan, where he's tied or ahead of her with young voters, and in Florida he's doing well with young voters. So I think that as the election moves closer, we're in the final stretch, young voters typically don't pay too much attention to policy of the candidates until right before the election. And now they're spending a lot more time looking at Donald Trump. He has a more targeted message towards young voters, especially with the economy and terrorism, and we see a trend moving towards him.
Salina, going to get to you in just a second. Right now, we've got a call at 1-877-NEWSMAX, 1-877-639-7629 from Gaylord, Michigan. Let's welcome Pat. Hello, Pat.
Hello, JD and guests. Yes, first of all, in 2005, I was evacuated from, on July 21st, from the subway in London when the homegrown Muslim young men tried to blow us up. Yet again, this was 2 weeks following their terrorist achievement, when they killed 34 people, and I don't know how many people have.
So, Pat, you lived it. You were there in London during those attacks.
Yeah.
Are you now concerned that what you saw in the United Kingdom a few years ago basically has happened here? Homegrown terrorists now rule the day, homegrown terrorists who are Muslim?
It's here, and it's not because they're going overseas. It's going on in the mosque. They must be monitored or shut down. And yes, I am tired of it. They're trotting out the same old refrain that, oh, they have been radicalized. They're radicalized in these mosques.
Pat, we appreciate your perspective very much and want to thank you for it. I'm going to get Salina to react, but before I do, let's listen to Donald Trump phoning in this morning on Fox and Friends. He seems to have that same sort of non-politically correct approach, telling it like it is. Here's Mr. Trump from earlier today.
These are sick, evil people that want to destroy this country. And the way we coddle them, and the way we're afraid to say anything, and we're afraid to say what the problem is and who they are, and they don't want to say radical Islam. They don't want to talk about radical Islamic terrorism.
So, Salina, there is Trump laying it out this morning, but we saw a reticence on the part of the mayor of New York City, a strange kind of explanation, if you will, from the governor of New York State, trying to blame anyone and everyone but who might be the lead suspect. Does this redound to Trump's benefit in the presidential campaign?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on. I think that language is an important part of this election cycle across the board, but in this sort of populist movement that we've been experiencing for the past year and a half, the inability to say what something is and sort of surround it with fancy words has gotten to voters on both sides of the aisle. And on the prosecution of terrorism, I believe the word that they used all this morning, from the mayor on up to the governor, was an intentional act and an intentional actor. And in its face, planting bombs in New York and New Jersey and having a knife attack in Minnesota are acts of terrorism. They are terrifying to the people it happens to. They're also terrify the communities that surround them. And so, that one little thing plays in Trump's in his favor, in that he's not afraid to talk about what it actually is, whereas the Obama administration and Clinton have tiptoed around it as so to avoid offending anybody.
Perfect to mention that, Salina, because Hillary this morning, following her somnambulistic remarks on Saturday night, Sunday morning, came out as if she were behind the curve, basically trying to change her message a bit. Here is Hillary before getting on the campaign plane this morning.
Let's not get diverted and distracted by the kind of campaign rhetoric we hear coming from the other side. This is a serious challenge. We are well equipped to meet it, and we can do so in keeping with smart law enforcement, good intelligence, and in concert with our values.
So, Salvator, there is Hillary. It sounds as if they went into the field to do polling for language that would be acceptable to the left and maybe to women independents. But you're saying this kind of careful tiptoeing around the issue will redound to the benefit of Donald Trump.
I think so. I mean, if we want to admit it or not, we are at war with radical Islamic terrorists, specifically ISIS, who have, used social media to radicalize a lot of our young people in this country who have committed a lot of these terroristic crimes since the Boston Marathon bombing. And so I think that Hillary Clinton is trying to reach out to voters, but she's way behind. I mean, we are at war and we're looking for a strong leader, and I don't think she embodies that. And by tiptoeing around the issues, she comes off either as not knowledgeable or being too politically correct to handle these issues.
Hey, Salina, Trump went on Twitter tweeting out this statement. Under the leadership of Obama and Clinton, Americans have experienced more attacks at home than victories abroad. Time to change the playbook. And then Hillary tweets out this politically correct thing. I strongly condemn the apparent terrorist attacks. Bottom line is Hillary, though she's trying to make up for it, is still trying to have her cake and eat it too, use politically correct language that still makes her acceptable to the left. Last word to you, Salina, 20 seconds.
Well, I mean, just look back a couple months ago, Hillary's biggest challenge was Bernie Sanders, and it was all on the basis of not being authentic in what she believes in, everything being scripted and poll tested. And Sanders would sort of lay it out there. And Democratic voters have the same yearning that Republican voters do.
And we will have to leave it right there on that note of commonality between voters from both parties. Salina in Pittsburgh and Salvatore in Dallas, our thanks to you, and our thanks to Pat, who called in from Gaylord. More of your calls and more conversation